we will move to House Bill 210. This is Delegate Bandari, and we would like to bring in Engin Wolford as well. Hello. And okay, and so Delegate Bandari, you're going to present to us State Board of Physical Therapy examiners, temporary licenses to practice physical therapy and limited physical therapy. Delegate Bandari.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to present in front of one committee. For the record, I'm Delegate Bandari. Good afternoon, Chair Pendergrass, Vice Chair Pena Melnick, and esteemed members of the Health and Government Operations Committee. I work on this legislation over the interim with Maryland Department of Health on HB House Bill 210, State Board of Physical Therapy examiners, temporary licenses to practice physical therapy and limited physical therapy. And Department of Health have submitted favorable testimony on this. They in turn were working with the Board of Physical Therapists. And I believe today, she's dear Engin Wolford, thank you, a member of the board. I would like to thank Maryland Department of Health and the Board of Physical Therapists, as well as Barbara from APTA Maryland for their work and testimony on this. This bill is very simple, allowing those who have met eligibility requirements for licensure, with the exception of passing the final exam, to be issued a temporary license to practice. Physical therapist and physical therapy assistant who are issued a temporary license will work under the supervision of a licensed physical therapist for a limited time pending the passage of their exam. This is actually something that used to be on the books in our state. Originally, the licensure exam was on a fixed date. So this statute existed to allow those waiting for the exam date to start working immediately upon hitting their other eligibility requirements. When the exam was changed to a rolling schedule, the statute was repealed. However, it is back to a fixed date now, once again making this legislation necessary. Allowing for temporary licenses will ensure that physical therapists and physical therapy assistants are not left in limbo while awaiting their exam date. It will have economic benefits for the physical therapist and physical therapy assistant, as well as institution for whom they will be working. Furthermore, nearby states like Pennsylvania and Delaware already have this in place. We don't want to lose our physical therapist and physical therapy assistant to neighboring state due to inaction in such a pandemic. With regard to the fiscal note, there is no effect on local or small businesses, and the bill's requirement can be handled at the state level with existing resources. Keeping all of this in mind, I urge a favorable report on House Bill 210.
Thank you, Dr. Bandari. We now hear from Ms. Wolford.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Engin Wolford, and I'm the Physical Therapist Assistant Board Member of the Maryland Board of Physical Therapy Examiners. Mr. Bandari has done a very good job in synopsizing the bill, and I have to excuse myself because I'm going to be quite repetitive with everything, not knowing exactly what was needed of me today. But he's pretty much synopsized everything that's on the bill, and it's true that it's very important that we try to pass this bill for the temporary licenses for PTs and PTAs. Significantly, now that we've had this unfortunate circumstance that's happened, and we've now been limited as to the testing dates, and on top of the limited testing dates that we have, we were not allowed to have some of those testing dates due to the unforeseen circumstances of this COVID response. We've also seen through education processes with the schools that the PTs and PTAs currently do not have as much time in the clinical setting because of the limitations of COVID. So we thought to ourselves as the board that it would be important for us, and going forward, it would be extremely important for us to make sure that the future physical therapists and physical therapist assistants will have enough clinical hours, and therefore might need that direct supervision and a little bit more time to allow their competence in the field of physical therapy and physical therapy assistants to become stronger. So with that all being said, I, of course, would like the board would respectfully request a favorable report on this HB 210, and I want to thank you for your time and consideration. Any questions?
Questions of the committee? I'm going to give folks another minute, but I would like to ask a question. Ms. Wolford, I just want to confirm that these folks with the temporary license have some level of supervision.
Yes, correct.
That's okay. And the other question I have is, was the changing in the exam schedule due to the health emergency, or was there another rationale behind limiting the dates of the examinations?
Well, so initially, when there was a temporary license available, and it was many, many years ago, it probably is more than 10 years ago, there were fixed dates. So therefore, with that, they changed it to a rolling schedule. So when they changed it to a rolling schedule, there was a very little lapse in time between the time a person graduated from their program to the time they had to take the exam. So it was very insignificant timing. So therefore, they decided that the temporary license was no longer needed, so they decided to take away that temporary licensure at that time.
But did they was there a reason for changing back to the fixed dates?
I don't have a definitive answer to that. I only know what I've heard, and they found that it was much more of a burden to have that rolling exam, but I'm not sure if that's the actual factual reason why they did it.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you, Delegate, for bringing us this bill. Thank you, Ms. Wolford.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
concludes the hearing on House Bill 210, and we will move
It went
to
good. Yeah.
House Bill 95 with Delegate Krebs.
that was.
And